Hey there, welcome back to the table as we get ready to continue our playthrough of Castile. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Okay, there we are. That's much better. So, um, I had a chance to get on the Discord channel, which has some of the developers and some of the folks who are really good at the game. And they have taught me so much. And I think I want to at least share a little bit of what I learned from them. And a lot of the questions I had for them were more hypothetical in nature because I've been like sitting in the back of my head, like, every time I look at the rules, I'm like, boy, if this situation were to ever come up, I'm going to be really struggling. And they helped me to get a better grasp of some of the game concepts that I really needed to get it to the next level. All right, so let's talk about that a little bit. As far as errors go and feedback, I know many of you are catching some of the mistakes I made, which I do eventually correct on my own. And it's funny because as you're going through the videos, you're catching them and then commenting, and then hopefully when you load the next video, you realize it. One of you was astute enough to figure out that I attacked my own ally with Poland. Um, and we did correct this and we got it fixed, so I think we're good to go there. Um, Another thing somebody mentioned was here in Caraman, and this gets to the thing that the developers helped me to understand better. So let's talk about. Um, so a realm is Castile, or Aragon in this case, or France, or whatever. Those are realms. Then a area, of course, is the area that's denoted by the lines, and then a province is each individual city that's denoted. So here in Aragon, Aragon is a realm, but this is also the Aragon area, which is confusing to have an area. But we have the Castile area too. So, um, and then there's three provinces here that belong to Aragon, and there's one that belongs to Navarra. Okay, so one of the things that I was getting hung up on, and it triggered over here with the Ottomans, is we have a situation here in the Karaman area where you got Karaman itself and Adana, two different country, basically two different realms to use the right terminology, are represented in the same area. So my questions that I initially asked them was, how do I deal with this? And and it was funny because it took me. I had to ask my question several times before they even understood what I was confused about. But then once they understood, then it all just started flowing. Um, so the way it works is they are different realms and they're treated separately. So, for example, I'm just going to steal this claim token. If they had a claim on here to declare war, the Ottomans can declare war just on the Karaman or just on Adana and not on the other, and that's totally okay. The claim is for the whole area, but they don't have to use it on the whole area. They can use it just for the pieces that they want to do. So, technically speaking, they could declare war on just Adana, conquer them, peace out, and then declare war on the other one later. Now, during the peace process, they said that they could leave the claim there. That was the only thing that I was a little curious about, because I thought when we went through the rules that part of the truce was that the claim went away. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, that they made, which was the part that I really needed to understand better, is that they are considered to be separate, even though they're in the same area. So what does this mean from an NPR perspective? So as an NPR, they have troops that just magically appear when you enter the area and attack them. Well, if you choose to only go to war with Karaman, then only two troops are going to appear because this Adana is a different NPR. And if the Ottomans don't declare war on Adana, then Adana's not going to rise up and defend. So there won't be three units. there's only going to be two. And then, in the same token, there's an alliance with Caraman. It's not an alliance with the entire area. It's only an alliance with these two provinces here. So it is important that this alliance token sit on Caraman, which I'm going to move it to the capital. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So, and then in the context of things, I was using Aragon as my example when I was talking with them. So if you're on the Discord channel, you know who I am now and what I was talking about. And you'll see that, like, I was asking about, okay, if I were to, as Castile, declare war on Aragon, am I declaring war on all four of these provinces or just three of them? And it's the same concept. You declare war on just three. So that's the big thing. Another one is a couple of you have been asking about this town here and whether or not I actually have a claim. Because when we were doing our cleanup phases, phase 3, phase 4, there's some special rules that trigger if you have a claim here. And this town is not a claim. So that's one of the things that to bear in mind. But now that I am here, although being on the island doesn't help, if I need to make a claim, obviously I can explore again. And all these places with numbers can only be discovered by exploring. But the Central America and Mexico are actual provinces, so I could actually claim them and declare war on them or anything, just like I could in the New World or in the Old World. So that was another thing that they helped me to understand. The third thing they helped me to understand is that the bots are not NPRs as far as rules are concerned. So when you're reading a rule, the bots are considered to be player realms. They are truly emulating a player realm. So if there's a player realm rule, it applies to the bots in the main rules. If it's an NPR rule, it does not apply to the bots. So there were some elements there that I was misunderstanding, but I disguised it very well from the rest of you.
Run!
Because we didn't. Sorry, my son's behind us. I disguised it well from you because most of those rules didn't trigger. And I was nervous because I felt like there's something I'm not getting right about this. And that was the primary thing. And then, sure enough, when I looked at the rulebook again, it flat out tells you that they're player realms. And I've always been making a policy to show you where it says that. And so let's do that. Let's go over, open the solo book, go to page 1. They will be PRs, run by bots. It's right here. It's the very first paragraph. So, I know, it's, sometimes the thing with rules on games is it's there. You open that pantry, you're looking for that can of beads, and you're telling the wife that you just can't find them. And then she comes in, and within a split second, she reaches in front of you and grabs the can of beans that you were looking at for the last 2.5 minutes. That's what that felt like. But it's still very refreshing, and I'm really glad that they were able to help me. I'm so glad. It's a very supportive community. I can't say enough. Okay, so what does all this mean? I'm going to touch on the fact that they are player realms a little bit more later. But the other thing that we talked about is, you can see here in southern Morocco, see this little arrow that says to Timbuktu? These guys are actually connected. So if you controlled southern Morocco,
Let me get this ready. I don't think he's staying here.
you can go to Timbuktu.
Nope, he is here.
And you can see here these lines. I mean, it's as clear as day, but for whatever reason, I never made the connection. So you don't need ships. You don't need Conquest the New World idea. You don't need explorers. You could literally send your armies down into Africa, and you can conquer all of Africa except for this number 2. That's an exploration one. So you need Quest for the New World to do this. But all these other ones are fair game. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, why is it that them being player bots matter? Well, the first thing is, as you can see here, their manpower is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anytime a troop dies, they go to the reserve. So they don't go back into the bag, which is what I was doing. Their reserve is always going to be there and ready. Now, for us, if one of our guys dies, they go into exhausted, and then we have to do something to bring them out of exhausted to the reserve, etc. The bots have it a little simpler. They're either in the reserve or they're in the army. There's only two places for them to be. So the other thing about them being a player realm is we mentioned that the army is not on the board, and then they just magically show up wherever. That is true. That is still true. But let's say they magically show up here, right? So they're fighting in Lombardy for whatever reason, right? Um, so if they are doing that, and I come along and attack them here,
Oh my
um,
god.
I was telling you that these guys would magically reappear here, and then per the NPR rules, they would spawn one, two, three, four, armies. None of that is true. None of that is true. This army is going to be over here, and there's not a thing they can do about it, and I can come in and start doing whatever I want there. Now, on their turn, when they're deciding what they want to do in their little thing, they're going to say, are they under attack? Right? That's the first question. So if I'm attacking them, then they go to defend, and then
No, he's gonna kill you.
the defend one, oh, where is that? Right here. Then they start going down here. So are there any areas with invaders? Yes, there are. So then, they're going to go down this rabbit hole and
No!
and try to figure out how to beat me back out of their territory. So
Why did you not help me?
that's a big change to the way
Now you're gonna
I understood the game. And and like I said, I was able to disguise all that from you because there hasn't been any wars between bots, like where bots are fighting each other or where I'm fighting a bot. The only thing that's happened so far is that a bot went to war with Ireland, which so like this is
He was 7-2 when he came into our lane.
so you can see these are actually three different provinces. But with a claim here, they can declare war on all of them. They don't have to. And of course. So we're going to be a little bit more careful about that. Are they going to declare war on all of these at once or just one at a time? Because they could have declared war on just one at a time. Um,
He's not dead.
so that's one piece. Obviously, don't declare war on your own alliance. It's another piece. And also, I was mentioning that since this was a two-province area, I wanted to find another two-province area to take. And I said I can't find one, so I picked Prussia here. Well, I did find one, and the one that I found is Estonia and Libya. Well, actually, there's three. Never mind. Well, here, Pomerania has two. So what we're going to do is, well, what we should do is switch it. Poland ended up scoring a lot more victory points than probably was necessary, but the problem is that at this point, I think retconning it would be way too hard. All right, and then I think I talked about this before I logged off last, but with Spain, I switched to the claims in Aragon mission tree, and it says own or vassalize 4 provinces in Aragon. And so that means Aragon the area. So I need to own or vassalize all of these, and that's including Navarra. So I'm probably going to have to declare war on Navarra at some point. Aragon, not so much. Now, to own them means I would have to conquer them. To vassalize them, I can't do that diplomatically. I have to use subjugate, which is in one of these 33 cards. I think there's 6 of them. And I do remember, I think, trying to explain this. So I have to use subjugate once to vassalize them, and then I have to use subjugate again to annex them. So I have to get 2 out of those 6 subjugate cards out of the 33 that are in here. And so, yeah, I have to spam these cards hard. And on the Discord channel, there are some people who are voicing an opinion that they don't like that. And they were like, well, you don't want to make it too easy. I sort of agree, except here's the problem. The only way Spain is competing against some of these other countries is to truly become Spain. Um, England doesn't have to do that. Nobody else is needing to do that. Um, Spain does. It's a small little country compared to all the other ones in the game, and so there's a little bit of wonkiness there to me. But um, I'm not letting that ruin my enjoyment of the game. Another viewer comment. They wanted to know if I remembered to take cards out of the bot deck. The answer is yes, they're right here. So this is a combination of cards that were taken out of the bot deck as a result of the scenario itself, right? And that is, nope, it's not the scenario. I apologize. It's these things. It is in the scenario book. It's at the end of the scenario book. But so, for example, the Ottoman bot has 8, 11, 12, and 14 removed. So if we come over here to the Ottoman pile, do a search, you're going to see 8, 11, 12, and 13. Now you see these two are also removed, but that's because we finished the first round, and per the rules, some of the cards don't go back into the bot deck. They're taken out of the bot deck. So that's it. I currently don't have too many other things to say. I think it does get crazy when you start dealing with truces and alliances, which we haven't gotten too deep into the rabbit hole for. I can definitely see how this game could get complex. But yeah, we're going to keep going. And yes, to my Frosthaven people, I am going to continue that. My biggest hangup with Frosthaven is it takes a long time to set up a scenario. And this is the work week right now. And so I just worked all day for my company, my day job. And I'm tired. And so the last thing I want to do is sit at my table and set up a scenario. Whereas this, I just hit a few buttons and bam, it's running. And even though I'm sitting here reading rule books and trying to understand how it works, like the intellectual part doesn't bother me. It's the physical part of trying to go through and find all the scenarios and set things up. And I'm truly sitting in a lazy boy style seat. I'm being a lazy bum right now. When I'm at my board game table, I'm it's more activity. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm basically just explaining that there's days that I'm in the mood for sitting at the table, and then there's days I'm in the mood for sitting at the PC. This is one of those things. Plus, and no offense to Frosthaven, which I am enjoying, I'm enjoying this one a little bit more. And it ticks all my boxes, and I do love the video game so much. And when this does arrive, I have a group of people who are going to play it with me, and I do need to learn how to play before they arrive. I would like to have a mastery of the rules, and there's nothing better than just diving in and going like this. So, anyways, without further ado, let's play. All right, so we'll start at the beginning. We got everybody ready to go. We have the manpower reserves. One thing I was hung up on is, do they replenish their armies? Like, when does that happen? It's like a recruit thing. And what I gathered out of it is when they get their military action,
Yeah, but he'll literally.
there are, right here, increase the army size, right? So they're going to grow their army based on things. And the part I don't remember is, at one point, I basically moved everything that was here into their army, and I don't remember why. I think it had to do with the fact that I thought that they had an infinite army size, but it was because I was looking at NPRs, like right here. If the area has land connection to a bot's capital, they have unlimited army capacity. So here, let's go through this slowly. A bot's army may suddenly appear. They can actually use battles determined by their MAC. A MAC simulates a bot's ability to muster units locally and their ability to transport them. If the army size exceeds the MAC, then
Yeah, go
units
ahead.
within the army are laid down. Conversely, if the max exceeds the number available, units doing a MAC check stand any laid down units up, etc. Unavailable units take no part in battles. They cannot score hits on enemy, and they cannot remove casualties. So here it is. Is the area has land connection to the bot's capital, the MAC is unlimited, which is the entire army. If the area has no land connection, then the bot's MC for the area is 3 plus.
Of course I'm positive.
It's the MC for the area plus 3. And of course, the area is based on page 22 of the main rules, which is just a tax. You're cutting the. It's just the way the NPRs calculate their tax thing. A land connection is a continuous chain of bots that are adjacent by land.
They focus me.
So,
And also, I used it.
so what does that mean? Right? It's actually quite confusing.
No.
See, bots always recruit units to the army area of their bot map.
Okay, no, the one
Placing the bot's army miniatures on the map is handled as a separate step of the charts. The bot's manpower is calculated the same way as humans. They always have a minimum of 3. All units currently in the bot's manpower reserve count as available manpower. Bots never have exhausted. Bots recruit as many units as indicated by the action they're executing, up to the limit of their manpower. If manpower is lower than the number of units they've paid to recruit, the bot still spends the cubes in full. So they do go through a recruiting action. And so I think I'm going to leave them the way they are. I think the MAC just means that the army size can be unlimited, but they still have to recruit that army. They don't just get it, for nothing. So that was where I landed with that. And you might be thinking, well, you just had access to the developers. Why didn't you ask them? Oh, trust me, I asked them so many questions. I was so grateful for the help they gave me. All right. So let's go. France. Start. Do they have bots left equals 0? The cubes left 0. No. 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 Nope. Nope.
get slowed.
They have bot cards left. Yes. They're going to draw a bot card.
I autoed him.
And then, just to be sure, they're going to do this thing. So let's draw a bot card. Okay, so they're going to do Unrest, which is going to cost them 1 cube. So I'm going to move that over. And, or they're going to focus on politics if the Unrest doesn't do anything. So let's just take a quick look. Do they have any Unrest on the board? France is doing amazing. They do not have any Unrest. So there's a good chance we're not going to be doing anything with the Unrest action. Do they own any with this? Nope. And nope. They're going to perform the second action instead.
He is GA.
Okay, so that's pretty simple. It's a focus politics. So that cube is just going to come over here under the focus. And then this card gets set aside. And I think we're putting it there.
We're having a midlife crisis here, and he's just having a good time.
I'm trying to remember, what did I do with these other bots that had their focus? Did I... yeah, because this one has a focus on war. Oh, so I just mix it into their primary deck. Okay, I can do that. We can flip it and put them in there. So there, now it's out of the bot deck. But that was simple enough.
I mean, also he's like 17 too, but like yeah, give or take.
So let's see. There was nothing in it. Place it on the focus. Put aside the bot card. Not reshuffled. End. Alright, done. Then it gets to us. And I know there's 100 things we want to do, but there's only one thing we want to do. And besides reset this. Oh, I keep forgetting to deselect.
Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
We are
No.
for sure picking the event. And seeing this reminded me of one more rule I wanted to check. So let me pause real quick so I can find it for you. So in the action phase, in a 6-player game, when players pass, after 4 players have passed, the remaining players get one more action, and then they're done. So you don't get to keep going. And if they finish their one more action, they still haven't done an event, then they get to do that as an additional. So it's technically a second action. So so basically the timer is the fourth person passing. And the reason I was reminded of it is it's tracked
He's gonna 1v5 us.
here. Oop, I'm on the wrong side. So once this fills up with 4 of them, if you remember, it was ourselves and Poland. We were the 2 left. So we would only have one more turn to do whatever we wanted, and then after that, we're forced to take an event if we haven't, and it's age or round over. Okay, I think we more or less did that anyways, because it was just Poland and ourselves, and I think we both took one last action, and yes, we were done. So I just wanted to point that out, that there is a mechanism that forces the players so they can't just keep taking their turn. Excuse me. They can't keep taking their turn forever. So that was another rule. I misunderstood it, even though I don't think it really changed our game. Okay.
No, puppy.
So we are for sure taking Iberian Wedding,
I live, though.
and in doing so, we don't get the glory of having the ducats on the other
Why
events.
aren't we doing?
And let me just grab it real quick, and then we'll go ahead and draw the next one. Okay, so the religious zeal one comes up, and we're taking this for many reasons, but the biggest one being that we don't have a leader, and so not having a leader sucks.
Oh,
So I'm going to just put that over there. So let's go ahead and do this, and we are going to bind our dynasties together. We're going to try to do it the hard way. So we're going to add 2 unrest and 3 rebels and Leon.
you are.
So this part is not cool. So Leon's here. So we get to put the rebels where we want. So we're going to do those 2. And 1, 2, 3 rebels.
Okay, no, it's because I stunned him. He would have walked away, bro.
There.
I literally got that.
So I'm going to have to take out rebels. There's a lot of stuff I have to do. Alright, so we got some rebels. Castile is going to gain a victory point. And you may notice that England is down a victory point, because I moved them here to represent -1, but I didn't take into consideration that this is not 0. So I gave England too many victory points. Now we're going to get a royal marriage and an alliance with Aragon and 4 cubes in their area.
No.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it says 4 cubes in Aragonese areas. So I can only have 5 here. So I'm going to put the maximum 5 there. Then we're going to just take 1. And
No.
yeah, we can put it, I don't know. I don't know of a good place. But I'm thinking
Precedent is indeed ending.
we could put it there. We could put it in Belarus.
So, about that
No, I think Belarus is actually a part of the Aragon area. These dashed lines, I think, represent an area, if I understand this correctly. So this would be a part of those 5 cubes. Right? And then we have a marriage. We'll put that on their capital. And we have an alliance. which I'm just going to put next to the capital. Actually, since I have the ability, I'm just going to... sure, we'll do it that way. Um, this is... It's it's huge, but without that subjugate card, it's also annoying.
It's not that hard to do.
um,
You just gotta click really
but
quick.
we are at least on our way to diplomatically being able to annex them, and we wouldn't have to necessarily go to war or do anything, so that part's good. And then, yes, the most glorious part of this is to be able to do that. So we got ourselves a nice, glorious leader, and I'm very happy with that. So our turn is over. We even scored a victory point doing it. We keep going. So England has a lot to do.
Literally.
They have rebels, and so that means they're under attack. So when we look at the England, they're under attack by rebels here, so they're going to go to defend, and they're going to spend 1 cube. So they're going to have them spend a cube before I forget. Alright, any area with invaders? The answer is yes. Do they have 2 or more cubes left? And army in an area where it can siege provinces? Well, the army's nowhere. The army's back here. So I don't know what that means per se. I mean, the army could be somewhere. So I'm going to say no. Then, is the army greater than 2 times any invading force? I'm going to say yes, because they have 6, and these guys have 3. So the answer is yes. Is the army on the map? No. Any areas with bots, towns, or army would not trigger a battle? No. Place army in the area with the smallest invading force. Check for MAC. Prefer PR enemy force. Okay, so there's a little 2 here. Adjust unit availability and army based on MAC, which is page 5. The MAC is unlimited. So the army is going to go here to deal with these pesky kids. And after doing this, we go to a land battle, and they will gain 1 to be victorious. And then after that, it's end turn. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. So the land battle itself, pretty easy. The rebels are going to fight to the death, and they're going to roll 3 dice, and that is different because like the NPRs only roll once and then they're done. So we gotta be mindful here. So when they're fighting rebels, right here, land battles for when a bot fights an NPR. So they're just gonna roll for the rebels. If they have any remaining unit after the wins, any of them removed. If all the bots were eliminated, the bot loses. Oh, I see. We just keep... No, again. Number of armies or NPR units present. Any remaining units are removed. That's the part I keep missing. So against us, the bots fight to the death, but apparently against the bots, it's still just a one-trick pony. Alright, so we're going to come over here. They have 3 of them. We're going to roll. Look at that. England is the luckiest duck on the planet. So, that means...
Wait, what are we doing?
And of course, I'm zoomed in so much I can't remember where they are.
I don't know.
Here we go.
But you know what? Fine.
Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. So they defeated their bots, and they're going to get 1 cube for that. So we're just going to add a cube back. Not too exciting or flashy, but it was definitely something they needed to do. Okay, Austria. Austria does not have any rebellions or anything. They have a lot of diplomacy going on. Um, they, of course, I need to understand better what causes the imperial influence to go out on the board. Some of it has to do with their actions. And then here for HRE lands, if you're not the emperor and you're defending blah blah blah. And then here are the things that causes your imperial authority to go up, and here's the thing that causes them to go down. So if we ever experience any of these things, we have to keep checking this. And I have to admit, like I really love this when I'm playing the video game because it adds a whole new, like it's like playing almost a different game. But when you're doing something like this, and especially when it's the bot, like this is the perfect thing to give to a human player because they'll be reading this and letting you know, hey, I just triggered this, I think, and then we can all read it together and say, oh yeah, you're right. But when it's the bot, I mean, you have it's like one extra thing you have to babysit, so it's a little more painful. Um, I am actually tempted that, like in a future game, I would get rid of them because one of the variants for this is to not have Austria and instead have Russia. And I think I'm a fan of that, just so I don't have to deal with the HRE and all the rules that go with it. But with that being said, I want to learn the rules. I just don't feel like I feel like the only way I'm going to learn these rules is to play as Austria myself, not to have them be a bot. It's a little too late to switch, but it's a lesson learned. Um, the other thing is, I just realized we attacked this for the rebels. There's a freaking town that is controlled, so England has more work to do. I totally didn't even catch that. Okay, it said
Gain 4 random tier 3 champions. No.
so. Yeah, so that would be to take the town. Yeah, this is a player realm enemy force. There is no player realm enemy force, so yeah, we're good to go there. We did everything right. We just probably need to go. England's going to spend a few rounds just dealing with all their stuff. Okay, Mr. Austria, back to you. I am pretty sure Austria is going to be drawing a card. I don't think any of this triggers for them. No, it does not. So here we go. This is their setup card. I'm just going to move that out of the way. See, this is an example of me setting it to the side. Whereas I'm not being consistent with the other guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in there. Ooh, idea. We haven't done this in ever. This is the first time this has come up. So it's going to cost them 3 cubes. And then I believe they're going to get one of these ideas, but let's find out. Okay. Do you have a cube in any focus area other than economic? No. So they're going to roll a die, and then on a 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, they're going to go into 1, 2, or 3. Then any available ideas match that focus type. Of course, there's going to be. Pick an idea matching the focus type. Tag this idea in appropriate slot on bot's Mac ID track. Score as normal, and then end turn. They're going to prefer the unresearched ones. And there's a reason. The way ideas work in this game is, for example, I have this one, and um, if somebody else were to take this one, then I'm going to get victory points because they're taking an idea that I already discovered first. And there's like a, I don't remember the actual exact formula, but like, and then if there's two of us that have this, then the third player comes along and takes it, then we both score victory points off of the third player and so forth. So there's an incentive on being the first. Okay, let's go roll their die. They rolled a 5, and it was as simple as this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're going to take a military idea. I guess that sort of suits Austria. It could have been that or diplomacy. That tends to be their thing. Um, so, so with the military one, I'm going to grab one of their cubes here, and we're going to come over here, and we get to pick one, and it has to be one that nobody else took. This one actually benefits the AI. These two do not. But this one, if the AI has the tertios, they actually get to do something special with it. It doesn't tell us. It just says pick one. That's a little... It just says prefer unresearched ideas, then random. Okay, so it does tell us. So we're going to do random. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2 is going to be the green one on the bottom. So here we go. Right, so it is going to be tertios. Right, so they're going to research this one. I'll put the cube here. Then they score 2 victory points for that. Yay, they're off to Schneid. And we're going to grab a cube. And it goes here. So what this means is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they get to roll extra dice in battles. 1 extra. So yeah, that's pretty good for them. Now it keeps saying tag. I don't know if there's another thing to tag. Like, was I supposed to use something else? I don't know. But that's... So they got one of the 3 ideas for military. So very well done. We're going to move on. Now we're on to Poland. So the Poland situation is they're winning the game. And I think they're looking good, so we're going to go ahead and draw a card. Diplomacy. That's going to be 3 cubes. So let's go ahead and spend their 3 cubes and figure out what diplomacy they're going to do. And as you know, I've put their player aids in all the corners so I don't have to scroll as much. Okay, do they have alliance and marriage on any NPR? I think they do. Lithuania. Alliance and a marriage. Yes. Do they have a higher tax income than the NPR? I'm going to assume yes. So their tax income is 14. Holy cow, it's 16. These guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's definitely high, but it is higher. Yes. Do they have cubes greater than or equal to the NPR's tax income plus any opponent cubes in the areas? I'm pretty sure that's no. They have cubes. They have... I don't even know what this cube is for. They have 1. 1 cube. That's it. So that's a big negatory, good buddy. Alright. So it needs to be higher than or equal to their tax income. So the answer is no. Select such NPR with the highest tax income. Yeah, adjacent to bot, that's fine. Any free space in target areas, of course there is. They're going to add 2 cubes in target areas, and they're going to prefer the capital. And let's quit and let's do this. So 1, 2 cubes. The capital, of course, is here. And remember, it can go up to 5. So 3 is plenty of room. Alliance possible? No, because they already have one. Can enter royal marriage? No, because they already have one. Add 2 more in areas where no cubes has been placed this turn. Prefer target areas, then adjacent to bot. And then, yeah, there's still a lot more to do. Okay, let's get 2 more cubes out. 1, 2. Okay, so there's nothing more adjacent to the bot than this, because we share the same area. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now they're up to 5 cubes. They got to get all the way up to 12. Alright. At peace and has 6 or more cubes left. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. Then they go to the diplomatic target chart. Roll for target. Roll if the same as any previous target this turn. Any free space has cubes less than target income. Oh my gosh, they're going to go for a second target if they have 6 or more cubes left. So let's check. Oh no, they only have 4. My mistake there. They're done. Okay, I still think that was a productive turn for them. Alright, so we come over to the Ottomans. Yeah, the Ottomans are looking good. Flip. Naval. Oh, that's a new one. I don't think we've seen that one yet. Any hostile sea zone adjacent to bots, ports, or ships. Ignore distant sea zones if bot does not have quest for the new world. So I'm assuming a hostile sea zone means that there's an enemy ship there. Let's see. Naval battles. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. I know we put a pirate out there somewhere, but I think that was over by England. I know it's a silly question, but I want to define what hostile means. Because does that mean you have to be at war? Or does it just mean there's an enemy, there's another player's like merchant ship near you? Okay, there's the first use of the word hostile. Ships may return any within reach of their normal via non-hostile sea zones. So ship may not enter a hostile sea zone. Ship may not enter a hostile sea zone. I think hostile does mean you have to be at war. Because I'm getting a very strong sense that that's what it means. And that's what we were assuming, right? It's not like, I was just hoping it would be defined somewhere. And it probably is. Let's go to page 1 and then search for hostile. Right here. Hostile refers to things controlled by rebels or by realms at war with you. Okay, perfect. We don't have any hostile zones. So Any,
Oh, that's also
oh,
good.
excuse me. Yawning again. See, that's what I'm telling you. I'm tired. Any sea zone without bot ships adjacent to bot ports. All right, that is a good question. Yeah, right here. That sea zone is without bot ships adjacent to bot
Do you want
ports.
a component anvil, a spatula, or three tier 2 champions?
All right. Yes. Place a ship in such sea zone. Prefer adjacent to most trade nodes, then alphabetical. Has ship adjacent to any pirates? No. Then they're going to draw a trade card. Okay, okay. Let's do this first. We're going to get a ship out. It's going to go here. And I think we did do a navy once before, because I think I remember doing this. Draw a trade card. All bots that are eligible to trade in any node will trade in the topmost node they qualify for. Bots gain 3 cubes if this is a distant node and 2 if not. Every human player can trade income from any eligible node on this card where they have a merchant, and then the bot will get 2 victory points if that's the case. I remember this distinctly because we ended up drawing a card and none of us were able to do it. Let's see. Move merchant of bots that contained the topmost valid node on the card.
If you do you have Lulus?
Have you placed a ship this turn? The answer is going to be yes, so then we will have end turn. Okay, this is excellent. I actually like this action. Like, I think this is a really well done bot action. Um, I know you might be wondering, well, Jeff, what does it mean? Well, from my perspective, it was easy to follow, and it just feels thematic and productive. All right, so it is gold. So we're going to have to possibly deal with inflation. South America, North America, or Indian Ocean. So none of the bots qualify, and neither do we. Because, look, it says you need to have Mexico or New Granada, and we don't have either. So this was a complete waste of a card for us. So it's out. Well, that stinks. Well, no bots use it. There's no victory points for them. They at least got rid of a card that we don't need. So now we move back to France. We just did a full turn. It took us 52 minutes, and that was with a lot of explanation. So very good. I am very certain we're going to draw another card. Alright, we have convert, and then focus. There's no conversions happening. Everybody's Catholic. So they're going to do a focus economic. And so it's going to go here. And then that also flips and goes out of the game. Or at least out of the deck. Alright, it is back to us. I haven't even thought about what we need to do. There's 100 things I want to do. I want to get stability off. I don't think that's even possible. We have to go kill some rebels. We have to... I still want to declare war on Granada. We have to figure out what to do about Navarra, because we either have to vassalize them, which takes even more subjugate cards, or we're just going to have to take them out and own the province, which means we need a claim. We have some cards here because we are super low on money, and so I can get like $9 back.
Do you need
And it lets me remove some unrest from one of my realms, which I have plenty of at the moment. We may want to explore. We have a lot of stuff to do. I am down to 3 armies, which is problematic. Our leader lets me roll an extra artillery. I'm thinking, I think I for sure want to take out the rebels. So we're going to go ahead and move into the area, which I'm pretty sure is a activate units. And then we're going to do a move, and that'll trigger a land battle. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
We're not even doing that bad.
So that cost us 1 cube. And then the last thing to do is just to check, because I am doing a land battle against rebels, and I'm pretty darn sure it's a fight to the death. But other than that, I think we fight them normally. So let's see, land battles is 27. It might be the rebel section 37. But let's go. Fighting multiple enemies. They will fight just like NPR units, except they will always fight to the last man. So the thing with NPR is it's just one round, and then they retreat. So here, it's fight to the last man, and it's our 3 against their 3. So they're going to roll 3 dice. We're going to roll 3 dice as well, plus 1 artillery. And yeah, we're going to be killing each other off, and if I roll badly for them, or me, I'm in trouble. So I'm going to roll for them first. Actually, no. You roll the attacker first. So we're going to roll 3 of these. Then we're going to grab an artillery die. We're going to roll all of these. Boom. 1, 2, 3. We just did 4 hits. So we just wiped them out. Now they're going to roll. Come on. And, oh my gosh. Alright, so we lost 3 units. And they lost their units, though, at least. Now, I need to check some things. Because I think our general may have gotten hurt. For each pair that a player rolls, a general gets hurt. Okay, they didn't roll any pairs of these. So we're good to go there. And I guess technically I'm supposed to do it using this little thing. I never used this before, though. So attacker down here, defender up there. Very interesting. It seems really unnecessary. But anyways. So our army is here, but it consists of nothing but the general. So now we're going to have to do a recruit action, which is going to cost us money. And then we also have exhausted manpower. Yeah, our army ambition days are gone. Alright, we did win the battle, though. And is victorious. They earn 1 cube. Let's not forget that. And only 1 may be earned. So that's excellent, because that means we get our cube back that we can use for other purposes. And then we just keep going. England is going to do the defend action again. And this time they're coming down to here. There is, as you noted... Jesus. There we go. Yes.
Oh wait.
Yes.
Nitro.
So we're gonna roll.
How much armor she has. She deals 1,000.
I don't know how we can siege if they still have army units there. Usually you have to kill the army units.
No, with the buckler shot.
Has 2 left, and army is an area where it can siege provinces. Okay, we can't siege because there's an army present. So, yes, army is on the map. Well, it was on the map. Yeah, so we're just going along this path, and instead of this one, they both say the exact same thing, and they both go to the exact same place. So yeah, we're gonna do a land battle, and they spent a cube, and assuming that they win, they're gonna get that cube back. All right,
Wait, you hit fiddle?
it's just one single unit, so we're gonna roll a die, and they're gonna win because this one unit can't kill their whole army.
Yeah. I won.
All right, so one of the English troops died. And there you go. Now, they can also siege,
I literally.
but I don't think they can do both. Well, maybe they can. Nope, right here it just says end turn. So after the naval battle, they're going to end. They'll do siege later. So yeah, their turn is spinning a bit.
Now,
Austria,
I literally got a Zoe in the next roll. I got
unrest.
poppy, poppy.
There is no unrest.
Two more poppy.
I mean, we'll check it out, but I don't think there's anything to do with the unrest.
Poppy becomes death incarnate.
Yeah, it's a bunch of no's. So they're going to focus on war, which is interesting. So they take another cube and focus it here, and that's also out.
I need more poppies.
Yeah. Okay, turn is over. They have a lot of cubes, but I think it's because they're HRE. These guys, they're down to less than.
I'm gonna need help. My poppy can't kill him.
Have they spent more than they have? No.
Um, the
So they're going to draw a buck card.
the Yumi killed me. Yeah, but there's a Yumi.
Right, unrest. They actually do have an unrest token, so they will deal with that.
Oh. Look, I'm
The
tainted.
answer is yes.
Even three
Remove it from 2 provinces owned by bot. Prefer capital than large. And then boom. It is very straightforward. That's a simple turn.
They have the defender.
So they get to remove 2. Here's just one of them. Done.
I can't.
Turn over.
Oh, it costs.
That costs them a cube.
You have to get that. I can't give you the other ones.
The Ottomans. Flip. This is going to cost them 2 cubes.
Give me poppies.
That last one, naval, cost them 2 cubes, and you'll notice I didn't spend it, so got to get that spent as well. Alright, they're going to do diplomacy. That is not going to help them.
Small threat. And then get corrupted.
You would think after all these times I would know exactly where everything is. Alright, do they have this? I'm going to say no, but I do think they have an alliance. They have an alliance. They don't have the marriage. So let's go to the alliance. Yes. Do they have double tax? Yes. They have cubes greater than or equal to their income. I don't think so. Actually, they do. They have 3 cubes there. There's only 2 of them.
He's too strong.
So the answer is yes. Holy cow. They're going to just simply annex them. Remove bots equal to the target's income. Score 3. And I know New owns all provinces in a new area, and the answer is going to be no. So it's going to be end turn. So this is the part where I'm glad we clarified the rules. So 2 of these cubes go away. This comes out. So we basically just take over the
That was garbage, but
like that. And the one cube stays, and they don't own the whole area, so there's no core happening. Um, they do get to put 2 more towns out, so they're looking good. They got more manpower. Technically speaking, this is 8 plus 1 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you take a ninth one, and we drop it there. Pretty cool. Alright. We're to France, who has... They've paid a couple cubes, but they... Flip idea. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's roll the die. Roll to 5, so it's going to be a military idea. So I'm going to grab one of these, put it there, and grab one of these. Roll. Okay, 3 is not going to work. Actually, I should re-clarify it. We're going to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to pick something that nobody else picked. So technically, I'm just going to roll again. There we go. So they're going to take... They're not taking cannons, they're taking military drill. And... I don't know why you'd want to take a loan. So 2 victory points for France. Let's make sure I'm understanding that symbol correctly. And remember, they don't get a bonus. They're just gonna... Why am I not seeing it here? It's a down arrow with a... Oh, here it is. Interest token. Yeah. They're gonna gain a loan. It's crazy. When you fight a land battle at the end of step 1, remove one of your enemy's battle dice. I guess that is powerful. So you're going to gain an interest token for that. This is a really powerful one. It's just, it costs so much. 5 points. Holy cow. Alright, yeah, I'm very happy with it. Okay, so let's go, it's back to us. What are we doing? I can't subjugate Aragon in any way, because the only opportunity to draw cards is between between the action phases. So I need to just be happy with what I got and make it work. I need to get my army back up, and you can see here I need a lot of ducats to do that. I only have 3, so I should probably prioritize getting money. So I can trade for a diplomatic action, and I have 2 merchants. I have plenty of cubes. I could also do these to get money. Here, like I said, I need 5 minus 1. I need 4 of these cubes to go up a stability, so it's not happening. I can't convert an area until I conquer it, and then colonizing... Yeah, so my administrative actions actually don't do much. Now what I can do is I can do this focus thing. Change national focus. And let's pull up the rules and see how that works. So this would be it's in the action section, and right here, take it once per round. Place a cube in the focus slot on your playing mat to indicate that you have done so. Increase one type of monarch power by 2 by moving 1 from the other 2 power pools. Discard up to 3 action cards from your hand. After completing this action, then draw 1 card fewer then you discard it from any of the action
Slash
decks.
influence on the pagans. That's what
You
occurs.
may pay 1 cube and 2 ducats to pick one of the new cards from the top 5 discards of the deck matching the paid type.
I don't think I'm gonna get
Okay, so there's a lot to that. Um, the discard for these actions. So, for example, let's say we like this revolutionary ideas, I can get it back, is what it's saying. And it would cost me money, it would cost me a few things. And then the other thing I can do is I can actually discard these cards from my hand. So if I discard, let's say, 4 of these, or I think it's up to 3. So if I discard 3 of these, I can then go draw 2 of these focus. So because I'm trying to get the the one that lets me annex Aragon.
Joe, look at him.
Um, it's aggressive for sure.
Look at him.
It could really backfire. I mean, I'm not saying I'm in love with these two.
Look at his balls.
Um, so I think, yeah, I'm not necessarily gonna. I may focus my diplomacy, but I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna play this card. It costs 2 of my cubes. Whoops,
Did you
didn't mean to do that.
Then we don't.
So it costs 2 of my cubes.
Well, there's a 15%.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and discard those, and I may remove that from one of my towns, which is excellent because I have plenty of towns. We're gonna move it from our capital, and
Oh no.
then I gain nine ducats. So it puts me up to 12.
I hate this person.
So I don't have 2 more, so I can't play the other one. But I can either discard that card or do something in the future. And so there you have it. These are the top 5 discards.
Yeah, you're against like the one guy that you don't win against.
So the focus is still a pretty decent idea. Because what I could do is I could put this cube in. Well, so I have to put a cube there, and I can maybe, like, let's say I focus diplomatic power, I can take a cube from each and move it over, or I can focus the military power, so I have enough turns to do all the military things I want to do. Um,
So much.
it's pretty neat. And that change natural focus is just a general action, but it would cost my turn. Researching an idea, of course, is the name of the game. If I could just get one more cube here, I would be able to grab an idea. I know my turn's over, but I'm still thinking about, like, what are my other options here? And look at this. Suppress unrest. 1 cube per province. How many unrest do I suppress when I do that? From which you wish to remove unrest. Flip these tokens.
Nunu's just going.
Oh, it would just get rid of all of them. So I need to think about this. Remember, I played that card. It let me flip one. I may want to just get rid of this unrest. Because if I'm going to pay 2 cubes, I can suppress the unrest in both of these territories. So I'll get rid of all 4 of these. And by getting rid of this with my card, that gets rid of all my unrest in all of my realm. And again, that's 2 military cubes. So I may want to focus on military because I seem to be doing a lot of military heavy actions all of a sudden. Wow. Alright. I wasn't expecting that, but I could do that, and it's a future turn. Alright, Mr. England. They are now going to siege. And we can confirm that here. I'm pretty sure they're going to siege. Yeah, right here. They'll do this. But I now have to end this video. I just realized I have to go do an errand. So my apologies. I'm having so much fun. I'm not keeping track of the time. But we will do this when we get back, and so it'll be England's turn. And I keep trying to find a way to like, how am I going to represent this? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little battleground thing on their bot deck to show that it's their turn next. And then of course I have to save. That's always a challenge, but I did figure out you can do this. And I have it called Jeff. And there we go. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.